So today we're going to take a look at who I think is the best character from each faction in For Honor. Now we're going to divide this video up into two sections. We got the 4v4, which is Breach, Dominion, Elimination, Skirmish, and Tribute, if you play that. I don't know many people that play that. And then we simply got the 1v1s. Certain characters in this game play differently depending on if you're fighting multiple people or just a single person. And they all have their pros and cons. And we're going to start with the Knights, of course. So for the first portion of this video, we're going to go with the solos. Who is the best duelist from each faction? And first up, we have Warden. I know what many people say, Warden is a basic character and he doesn't have much, but Warden has to be one of the best duelists in the Knight faction. As you can see, we have all these other heroes. Why did I pick Warden out of all of them? He's simply just versatile. With him being a Vanguard, he has the best of both worlds. He's decently quick and he has really good defense. One of the main reasons why I chose Warden for this is because of some of his abilities. His shoulder bash, so simple, but it's so useful when using this character. When using the shoulder bash, as you can see, I can hold it and wait to the last minute and do a guard break, or I can just hold it and let it go and get a free heavy in. This allows me to get a lot of damage in, and this allows me to do a lot of different things. I can make the person panic, or if I played enough mind games, I can make them stay still and actually go through with this. Yes, this is predictable, but you can cancel it at the last second, making people want to dodge, which allows you to get that guard break. Now there's many other reasons why I chose Warden for this, like for example, his mix-ups. You can even do this inside of a mix-up, and just the way he flows. Now one of the downsides to Warden is that he's not a great Dominion character. Now when taking a look at Warden's feats, as you can see, they are just not that good. He has some pretty decent ones, but they don't stand out like any of the DLC characters, and that's because he is a vanilla character. He's going to have the body count, the Inspire, the Second Wind, and the Catapult. He doesn't have anything crazy, nothing like a character like Hitakiri's, which launches an attack that cannot be blocked and deals massive damage leading to an execution on kill. No, you get Catapult, which is the default one. If there's a newer character that was released in For Honor, they're probably going to have a more unique fourth feat than the vanilla characters like Kensei, Raider, and Warden. But that doesn't mean that they're not good. Their base moveset makes up for all that. But I would not bring Warden into Dominion. Some people do great with him in Dominion. I don't. That's why I don't recommend him in Dominion. But he's one of the best duelists in my opinion. Next for the Vikings, this was hard for me to choose because I really don't play a lot of Vikings when it comes to duels, but I know a lot of people that do, and they like to play Berserker. Berserker is a really good duelist, in my opinion, and he's overlooked. His super fast light attacks with his hyper armor, mixing that together, just creates a really great moveset. And with him being an assassin moving so quick, he's able to apply a lot of damage. As you can see, we got 24 and 31 damage. And with him being able to do so much damage, honestly, I wouldn't be afraid to take him in Dominion as an assassin, but his movesets definitely puts him on the top when it comes to duels. So a bonus hero for the solos for Vikings is Highlander. I think Highlander is really good, and especially in 1v1s. Now, he is a slow moving character, but he has mix-ups that are really great. As you can see, I can throw him to the ground, get that free heavy in. You can hold down the heavy button, just press X and get that kick in and then get a heavy in, or you can do the same thing, let it go, and press X at the same time to go into a grab. This will feint the attack and then go into the grab. This throws people off a lot, and that's why I like to pick Highlander for duels. But I will say, you need to know what you're doing. You just do not want to throw out these long, drawn-out heavies, because they will get parried. And it doesn't even matter if he's spinning like this. Sometimes you could throw this when somebody's in the middle of an attack, but other than that, I just wouldn't throw these out constantly. You gotta be way more creative when you're playing Highlander. But when you play him right, he could be one of the best duelists from the Vikings faction, in my opinion. So for the Samurai, we have Kensei. Now, Kensei is a character that gets looked down upon sometimes. I don't know why. He's a really good character, and for duels, he's exceptionally good. Now, he has multiple moves. I'm not gonna break down his whole move set, but I'm gonna break down some of the reasons why I think that he's a really great duelist. For example, his zone. You can throw his zone, cancel, that throws people off guard. And I know his light attacks were pretty basic, as you can see. You don't want to just constantly chain these or you'll get parried, but you do have the hyper armor at the end. But one thing that I like about Kensei is that if you throw an attack, you have your second one, you have your third one, and you can go through with it, or you can start it up and go from the side. And some people like to dodge and they forget about that being hyper armored, so they just go through with it and just get hit by it, which is really nice. You can start all of that up again, so with the heavy, and go into a side light. This can throw people off as well. Just throwing all these combos together makes him a really good versatile duelist. And you can also feint the attack and go into the shove, which will start up that whole process, which gives you options to come down in different ways once again. really confusing at times and definitely can make you come out with some wins. Alright, so for the Wulin, it was hard for me to choose a character, but I had to come out with the Tiandi. And it's simply because Tiandi just has everything. He has the dodges, he has the good defense, and he has the mix-ups to throw people off, which all culminates into a really good duelist. Now, I'm not an expert once again on Tiandi because I don't play Wulin a lot, but I know a lot about Tiandi and I have a lot of friends that play Tiandi. And I know some of the basic mix-ups, but when you use him right, he is one of the best Wulin characters in the game. Some of his basic moves have hyper armor. He has a long drawn out dodge, which really helps with confusing people. And he has a pretty quick zone that you can cancel real fast, along with a really nice undodgeable overhead light, which makes it pretty easy to catch assassins when they get real dodgy. And lastly, for the duelists, we have the Outlanders. This is the faction that they added on, all the DLC characters basically. Now this character is pretty unique. Afira has a lot of bashes after her normal attacks. You can just do this by pressing guard break after an attack. You can also start up unblockables by simply throwing heavies, but it has to come from the right side. You can also do undodgeable heavies from up top, and you can also do a heavy that controls where your opponent goes, which allows you to throw them into a wall, which starts up a whole bunch of more possibilities of combos. This character is really brutal up close. If you're going against somebody that you want to keep pressure on so they can't do anything, this is the character to play. And something real cool about this character is that you can cover ground really quick with this character. Cover ground, hit him real quick, and follow up with an undodgeable or unblockable if you want. But you just do this by going back, pressing X. But what makes this so cool is you can actually cancel it. So I can go, cancel, and just really throw them off real quick. I can even halfway go through with the animation. I love doing that to throw people off. But now we're gonna go on to the 4v4 heroes. So for the Knights, the best character for 4v4s is gonna have to be Blackprior. And the reason why I say that is his moveset is just made for 4v4. When taking a look at Blackprior's moveset, he has one standout feature, and that's the bulwark counter. And the way you do this is you go into the full guard by holding down on the right analog stick and then pressing RB. When he does this, he will completely counter whoever's swinging in that vicinity. We got a Warden, he'll flip and get some damage in, just like that, 24 damage. And that will be applied to everyone. You can also do this to bashes and unblockables. Another element to Blackprior is obviously he has a shield and he's really good at defense. Having all this helps him stay alive in 4v4. As you can see, when taking a look at Blackprior's moveset, as you can see, a lot of his attacks glow blue. That means they're undodgeable, so it's hard to dodge away from Blackprior. And a lot of people like to do that when there's a lot of chaos going on in 4v4 modes. So this is really good at catching them. Blackprior also has a bash that allows him to cover ground. You can press the up heavy and then X. When you do that, you can actually get a light attack in afterwards. A little combo I like to do sometimes is I like to go do the bash, light attack, hit him with a zone, hit him with another light attack. That's doing stamina damage and normal damage. Another reason why I chose Blackprior is because of his feats. Two of the main feats that I really enjoy using is Oathbreaker and Umbral Shelter. Oathbreaker, as you can see, removes all shields from targets and temporarily prevents them from gaining any more shields. This is crazy in 4v4. And then you also got the Umbral Shelter. For a short time, generate shield for your nearby allies. Shields don't stack. But yeah, Blackprior is crazy. You should check him out for 4v4. All right, so the Vikings, I'm gonna be honest, I had a different character originally scripted for this part, but I honestly had to change it because I did a bit of thinking. I had to change it to Jormungandr. Jormungandr has a really good moveset and his feats just pair way too well with his moves to not pick him for the 4v4 spot. Jormungandr's feats are so good, we're gonna have to start off with those first. As you can see, we have all of these feats that honestly just match up together. As you can see, we have Jotun's Salve. It's a passive, gain health when hitting enemy heroes with the Jotun's Surge, Farewell, Gift, or Grudge. Then you got the Hammar's Favor. It's a passive, gain a temporary shield after landing Hammar's Slam on an enemy hero. This is wild. I'm going to show you why soon. Then you got the Ziliot's Bolt. Throw a projectile that deals low damage, knockback, and depletes all stamina, which is not too crazy, but he also has hard to kill. And then lastly, we got the Twilight of Gods. Launch a powerful attack that deals some damage and unbalances nearby enemies. This is really good, and I'm gonna tell you why. So I'm not gonna bring up all of the names of the moves for Jormungandr. I'll just show you what he has as far as bashes and combos. So if you dodge forward, press X, you got a little bash. And as you can see, that Warden over there is out of stamina. So when you do different types of bashes to opponents, they run out of stamina. You wanna try to keep their stamina low, because if their stamina gets low, or if you're in a 4v4 mode and you get revenge and you're able to throw them onto the ground, all you gotta do is press the heavy attack and slam them. This allows you to get a lot of damage in. Remember, we looked at Hamar's favor. When you land that attack that I just showed you, it allows you to get an extra shield every time. You're in revenge and you have low health. You can constantly throw people on the ground, get the shield, and survive. This is why Jormungandr is one of the best 4v4 characters in the game. And you can also throw a light attack and throw a heavy attack and knock people into their wall and get more damage in like that. And when going back to Jormungandr's 4th feat, Twilight of the Gods, when you unbalance all the nearby enemies, you're able to get that heavy attack in, which will automatically give you that shield and do a lot of damage. That's why I had to put Jormungandr in the slot. So for this next section, for the Samurai, it was really hard for me to choose a character for the 4v4 mode. But I gotta say, these two characters, as you can see, I don't have them unlocked. I don't play Armusha and I don't play Kyoshin. I just don't like these two characters. So take this section with a grain of salt, because these two characters, honestly, Kyoshin, he's a really good character in 4v4 modes, but I can't recommend him because I don't play him, if you can see where I'm coming from. But one character I do play is Hitakiri. I played Hitakiri a lot more on console, not much on this account, but I can still say, in my opinion, I can say she is the best 4v4 character from the Samurai. And the reason why I say that is because, again, there's a combination of her moveset and her feats. Looking at her last feat, she can launch an attack that cannot be blocked and deals massive damage, leading to an execution on kill. Another thing she also has is Deliverance. It's a passive that gain a shield and an uninterruptible stance while executing enemy heroes. If you have this equipped, and then you have this equipped, once you launch that attack and they don't dodge out of the way, you're gonna land it and they're gonna get executed whether their team likes it or not. So, and she also gains damage resistance after executing an enemy hero. This effect remains until you are killed. So if you get one execution, you get damage reduction throughout the whole time of your life. And she also can heal her teammates. If you mark an enemy, they get executed, it'll give your teammates some health, which is pretty cool. Hitakiri is a heavy and she has medium difficulty. If you ever see medium difficulty on this game, they're probably gonna have a pretty simple moveset. In this case, simple isn't bad at all. With Hitakiri, you only have to hold your heavy attack and then you can throw an unblockable. That's kind of crazy. And if you don't want to throw an unblockable, well, you have uninterruptible, which is also crazy. And you can do this in the infinite chain if you want, but obviously you wouldn't want to do this in a real match. She also has a kick that she can do after an attack, and if you hold that kick, it'll turn into a sweep. So I'm gonna tap it, kick, I'm gonna do it again, but I'm gonna hold it as a sweep. And sometimes people like to dodge. If you got a real dodgy character, that sweep can really catch them. And honestly, you can hold it to the last minute and then go into the guard break. Just a couple little mix-ups you can do with Hitakiri, but this in 4v4 modes just makes her really good because you can like hold this and then swap characters and then hit somebody else at the same time. And honestly, you can just do this and feign it too to keep people on their toes. That's the main reason I had to put Hitakiri in this spot. She's so good, but then again, take it with a grain of salt. I don't play Kyoshin or Aramusha. On to Wulin. So for Wulin, I had to pick Tiandi. And on this count, I don't even have him unlocked, but I have played him a lot in the past and he hasn't really changed much at all. So Tiandi has pretty decent feats, but I'm not really gonna get into those. And also, I just don't have him unlocked right now. But we're gonna focus on his moveset because his moveset is kind of crazy. As you can see, he has these long dodges he can do. You just gotta dodge to the side, press the heavy attack. You can also press A and X, hit him with the bash, and then get a light attack in. Tiandi also has undodgeable attacks. As you can see, if I press A, then the light attack, he can dodge to the side and it glows blue. Or up top, this will allow you to get an undodgeable attack in. Works really well when you're going against assassins. You can also do a zone, cancel it real quick. I like to do this, but if you let it go, he's gonna keep going, but that's gonna get parried. Sometimes when I got revenge, I just do that. Maybe throw a light attack in there. He can also get a crazy kick in. You can throw a heavy attack, hold X, tap A, and then get an uninterruptible heavy attack in. You don't have to go through with that. You can also cancel that. But it's really just Tiandi's moveset is what really makes him a really good 4v4 Wulin hero. And for the very last faction, I have to choose Ocelot. You know when the newest hero comes out, they got to give him the best abilities and feats. When taking a look at Ocelot's feats, his very first feat is insane and it's a little game breaking. It's a little out of the ordinary. Become a spirit upon dying, slowly returning to life. Spirits can move undetected but cannot attack. So that means you can literally die off of a point, step away, wait a couple seconds, spawn right outside the point. You'll have low health, but you can literally die, spawn outside of the point, and walk right back into the point and go right back into the fight. Or you can just spawn near another point and capture that real quick. This makes Ocelot insane in 4v4 modes. You can spawn wherever you want if you have this ability. And his other feats are just great in general. I like these last two feats. Killing enemies temporarily grants extra attack damage and increases speed. And then you have the Trapper's Reach, throw a spear to damage and bleed foes, pulling them into a guard break, only usable in guard mode. So his fourth feat's not too crazy, but it's just his first feat. You can spawn wherever you want. You can constantly help people with ganks. When taking a look at his moveset, you can hold back on the analog stick, then press the heavy attack, go into a little attack like that, which is pretty crazy. You can also follow it up with an X attack. Follow that up with a light attack. He got some pretty nice combos. He has a pretty good zone that's uninterruptible. You can follow that up. Any attack, you can really follow it up and constantly keep people on their toes. That's what makes Ocelot so good, and this is why I chose him to be the 4v4 hero. For the Outlanders, are they called Outlanders? I think they are. I don't even know. But if this video helped you out, you found out some characters that you may like to play, let me know by hitting that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll be making more videos soon. With all that being said, I'll see you in the next video.